Welcome to Speakernomics, the official podcast of the National Speakers Association. I'm Kenneth Kinney, but friends call me Shark. And like you, I'm a professional speaker and I love listening to Speakernomics. Speakernomics is a professional speaker show that will help you thrive and grow a speaking business so you too can change the world, one keynote session workshop and speech at a time. And on this episode, we welcome Karl Mecklenburg. He was known as the albino rhino when he played in the NFL. He's a former defensive Broncos captain and all-pro linebacker who rose from being a college walk-on and a 12th round draft pick to a pro career that included 6 Pro Bowl and 3 Super Bowl appearances. He's also an inductee into the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame and the Denver Broncos Ring of Fame. But what is he now? Well, he is a speaker, and he's a certified speaking professional who's been a professional speaker for over 2 decades. Karl, welcome. We'll speak at a 3-4 defensive formation today on Speakernomics. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Hey, I made the big time. Finally, I'm on Speakernomics.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got to get a bronze statue of you for that, like you got there at the Broncos Stadium. Now, to all my speaking friends, what are you doing to hold your audience's attention? You're not running every play up the middle, nor are you throwing the ball, or the mic in this case, deep and long in every down. But many speakers don't ebb and flow their content enough on stage or off, and they can become, well, predictable. With a predictable presentation that keeps audiences not looking at their phones or computers, but being ready instead, waiting on the edges of their seats, listening intently for your every word. And before we jump in, make sure to go to Speakernomics.com. That's where you can find the tips, insights, and knowledge to help you become a better speaker, build a better business, and get paid to speak. Karl, let's dive in. So how are you building connection and rapport with an audience that's different from a team in a huddle, and then really applying that to helping people keep their attention? And what are the sort of the tactics that you do from a storytelling standpoint to make sure that speakers aren't, well, you as a speaker aren't, boring and predictable?
Yeah, no, it's storytelling. It's surprising people. It's getting humor early and often. Trying to surprise them is really the key to it all. If you can make an audience feel like, I don't want to miss the next joke, I don't want to miss the next point, I don't want to miss the next laugher. To me, that's the whole deal. I call it a river. I grew up in southern Minnesota. My grandfather had a place down in the Mississippi River, and on the far side of the banks was Wisconsin, and the cold water would come down from the springs on the bluffs there. And then from our side, from Minnesota's side, there's all kinds of farms and swamps, and so the warm water would come from there. But it's all flowing in the same way. And to me, that's what a speech has to be. It has to have the fast and the slow and the loud and the quiet and the difficult stories and the funny stories all mixed together to where you're not losing somebody.
Walk us through some examples of how you structure that within your own keynote presentations.
Well, to me, I try to chart my stories. I'll decide whether it's a first person story, I was there, a second person story, I know the person that was there. I make sure that either it's based on humor, it's based on it's based on an event that happened that I regret. If it's there's all different types of stories, and if you can cut and paste and make it move, to me, there's nothing more boring to me than a drain pipe. It's just going straight, and it's the same speed and the same temperature and the same volume, and we've all seen speakers like that, and it just doesn't hold an audience's attention.
Agreed. Well, I'm curious, from a sales and marketing position, how do you position yourself today to meeting planners or organizations who may not be familiar with your extremely impressive and versatile NFL background? They may not know you as the albino rhino and watch ESPN all day long, like people like me. But I ask that because in today's marketplace, it's tough for a lot of people to position themselves as motivational speakers, thinking about and taking that positioning with a motivational message that meeting planners can also see the actionable tactics and ROI differently than they say an industry expert?
Sure. I'm a collector of referrals. I've got referrals. When I go speak at an NSA chapter, I pull out this 3-ring binder of like 1,000 referrals. And to me, that's what a meeting professional is looking for. Feedback from other people in similar situations where they can trust me. There are a lot of ex-athletes who will sell themselves as speakers who aren't very good speakers. Let's face it, that's one of the reasons I got my CSP. So to me, I need to have the proof. I need to have, this is what I'm capable of doing. This is what I'll do for you. And the other thing is, when I get that feedback, I'm able to position my marketing in a way that really is reflective of what they value. One of my tagline on my emails is celebrity draw without celebrity attitude. And that came directly from my client saying, you know what, we love the way you handle our people, how you'll play in our golf event and you'll show up early and you'll stay late and you'll sign autographs and you'll pose for photos and do all that extra stuff in addition to giving us a great speech and a speech that's tailored for our organization.
Fantastic. Well, athletes are known for relentlessly training for peak performance. And again, going back to the CSP, you made a disciplined decision when working towards and earning your CSP. But how do you apply that same level of preparation and discipline to the craft of speaking that, as you just said, we see so many former athletes not take? And that's why a lot of them get, maybe get the celebrity status to get them on the stage, but then bore a lot of audiences, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. And I don't understand it. I've got what you call an all-pro mentality. Prepare thoroughly, perform decisively, evaluate honestly, and adjust accordingly. That's the way I've approached my football career. That's the way I've approached my speaking career. I'm gonna be prepared. I'm gonna know who your people are. I'm gonna come early so I can make sure I know who your people are. I'm gonna be decisive on stage. I'm gonna take some chances. I'm not gonna give you the canned speech that somebody wrote for me 5 years ago. And then afterwards, I'm gonna look at what went well and what didn't go well, and I'm gonna throw out what didn't go well, and I'm gonna repeat what did go well, and get ready for the next one. I mean, that's one of the great things about speaking for me is it really is a lot like football. I mean, that whole pattern works really well as a speaker, and it worked well as an athlete.
Give those 4 again.
Prepare thoroughly, perform decisively, evaluate honestly, and adjust accordingly.
Fantastic. Now for a little speaking trivia. Who were the 2 founders of the popular speaker platform and directory eSpeakers? Back with the answer in just a moment. Before we jump back to the show, here's a moment with NSA member, speaker, MC, and CSP, Dr. Jeannie Snyder. Jeannie, what does being part of NSA mean to you and your speaking business?
It's a thread for really everything that I do. I think it's the intersection of what I do in my business, what I do as a volunteer in NSA and our local Georgia chapter, as well as in national. I think it is it pulls my feet to the ground when I start to get swayed. In fact, our president, Leslie Gordon, and I, I'm immediate past president, we were just talking about when you leave Thrive, what happens next? And I said, pick an idea or two, a speaker or two, and go with that. So it's the thread. I can always go pull another balloon, but it's the thread. It's the intersection of the people. It's the intersection of the people when I'm reminded to think differently about my business and pick some decisions at that intersection each time, and I don't have to do them.
And here's the answer. The 2 founders of the popular speaker platform and directory, eSpeakers, were Dave Reed in CSP and CPAE, Art Berg. And now back to the show. Karl, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be speaking about at Influence. You've played in some of the most intense environments imaginable. Are you ready for the fans to be replaced with a bunch of rowdy speakers who are just as bad of critics of my Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary speaking in front of other speakers. It is, because it's like they know exactly what you should be doing and you shouldn't be doing. And what if I stick my hand in my pocket? Truthfully, I'm going to help. I'm going to give some of the insights that have helped me get to where I've gotten in my career that I learned along the way in NSA, because the fact of the matter is I don't know anything that I didn't learn there. Truthfully, having the pattern of putting together a speech was something I learned along the line from other speakers that inspired me, and like, how did he do that? How come I like this speaker as opposed to how come I didn't like this speaker? And that's the other thing. I mean, NSA has been a great learning situation for me, not only from, wow, that's who I want to be, but also, I'm not going to do that. This isn't authentic for me. So I can eliminate some stuff that I would have probably looked into just because I've seen it, and that's not the direction I want to go.
What is your favorite moment as a pro athlete in your career?
Wow, I would have to say the drive game. The first time we went to the Super Bowl, we were playing in Cleveland, and we were behind right at a minute and a half left, and fumbled the ball on the 5-yard line on the kickoff, and then drove all the way down to see our team drive all the way down and tie up that game, and then come back. We lost the coin toss. We were able to defensively, we stuffed them 3 plays and out, and we got the ball and then kicked the field goal and ended up winning the game and going to the Super Bowl. And that was my first trip to the Super Bowl, so that was pretty cool.
What is your favorite moment ever as a speaker?
Wow. I don't know that I've had it yet, but I'm hoping.
Probably this show.
Yeah, this show. You know what? Truthfully, when I realized I was a great speaker I was probably my second or third year as a speaker. I'm speaking at a middle school, and the power went out. And we're down in it. It was one of those 1980s built kind of bomb shelter type buildings, with just little slits for windows in the gym, and so it's kind of dark in the gym, and there's 200 middle schoolers in there. And I finished up my 20 minutes, and no grab ass went on, and I'm like, hey, I can do this. If I can hold these kids, I can hold anybody.
Yeah, I've got one middle schooler, and that's a tough audience on its own. So, Karl, I want to ask you a question from a previous guest. What is the one strategy that you've used in sales that changes the way you sell today?
Wow. For me, I think just being consistent. For me, when I lose that consistency, I lose that momentum. I'll pick up the phone. I'll make sure I make contact with 5 people every single day. And whether it's a sales thing, or whether it's a soft sales thing, or whether it's just a contact, or whether it's a happy birthday, or whether it's I'm responding to a post on LinkedIn, or whatever it is, I just need to be consistent.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that advice too, because it reminds me of Willie Jolly, Dr. Willie Jolly, Hall of Fame speaker and Cavett and CSP and pretty much every accolade you could say. He was always talking about talk to people, TTP. And when that doesn't work, TTMP, talk to more people. So doing 5 every day and being consistent with it is fantastic. Well, then let's do a quick recap then based on Karl's off the field and on the stage advice. Number 1, don't be predictable. Trying to surprise them for him is the key to it all. Make your content flow like a river. It has ebbs and flows with humor and storytelling, sadness and surprises. Make it move like a river and not a drain pipe. Number 2, When thinking about how to position yourself, Karl is a collector of referrals. Meeting planners, like everybody else, have a lot of questions to answer. Referrals and testimonials, though, can help you position that marketing for what they value most. Celebrity draw without celebrity attitude. Number 3, be prepared with an all-pro attitude, and go back and listen to his 4. So, Karl, I'm looking forward to seeing you at Influence. Any last closing thoughts before we speak ourselves off this field and stage?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at Influence. That's such a wonderful way to make contacts, to and to really go back to the basics of this is who I am, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and we're out there on our own as speakers, and so many times it's great to gather as a team, as a group that cares about each other, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Friends, make sure to join us at Speakernomics.com and let your voice be heard. I'm Kenneth Shark-Kinney, your host of the National Speakers Association's podcast, Speakernomics, and this has been another fantastic episode of the show. Thank you, Karl, for your service to NSA, for lending your voice to the show, and everyone listening, thank you for the privilege of your time. And remember, Speakernomics is a podcast where you'll learn to speak, get paid, repeat.